Hello, welcome. Today I'm going to be reading you the problem of skepticism in Descartes' first meditation and Berkeley's attempted resolution. So our story begins when Descartes realizes that there are falsehoods that he had previously believed. He decided to tear down everything that he thought that he knew and start again from a newly built foundation. He wanted to establish something scientific that could last. To accomplish this, it's not necessary to show that all of his opinions are false. He just must restrain himself from subscribing to opinions that are not completely certain. He must give those opinions the same treatment as those that are undoubtedly false. He can't go through every little thing piece by piece. The poor man would still be sitting here today. So he said, once the foundations of a building are undermined, anything built on them will collapse on its own accord. So, our skeptic king cut straight to the basic principles in which all the previous beliefs sat upon. Descartes realized that most of the things he thought to be true were acquired by his senses, but he said, "My senses, they have deceived me before. There's an old saying in Tennessee. I know it's in Texas. It's probably in Tennessee. That says, fool me once, shame on. Shame on you. You fool me, they can't get fooled again. I mean, sure, my senses would have me believe that I am sitting here in my winter dressing gown. But for all that I know, I could be a madman. I cannot tell you how many times that I have dreams that I am in my gown when really I am naked in my bed. So you understand why I can't be certain of anything these days." So he goes on and he thinks of dreams and paintings. He thinks even if the things in dreams and paintings are completely fictitious, at least aspects of them, such as colors used to compose them, must be real. Descartes says we have to admit some universal things have to be real, and they are the basis on which we form all images of things, whether they are true or false. He thinks disciplines that rely on composite things can be dubious, while things like geometry and arithmetic are undoubtable. Whether I am awake or asleep, 2 plus 3 is 5. So you know what I mean? The square is always going to have the 4 sides. He thought it seemed impossible that such transparent truths could ever be false. And then I think Almighty God. The Almighty God, He made me the creature that I am. So how can I be sure He is not deceiving me as well? What if He tricked me and the 2 plus 3 is not really 5? But no, please, please. My God could not do this. He's supremely good. You know, though, God wouldn't let me be deceived at this time without giving me a way to detect my errors. God wouldn't do this. Perhaps He's a malicious, powerful demon deceiving me. If he is fooling me, then I can't be certain of anything physical. Not even my own body, for he may make these things appear so. So I must consider that I don't have hands or blood or senses, only that he is having me falsely believe that I do. Descartes decided to keep pushing this direction. He decided, even if it wasn't in his power to know the truth, he would do everything he could to resist deception by the hand of this malicious, powerful demon. He decided to hold off on judgment and give up all beliefs about the physical world. This proved to be exhausting, and he felt a kind of laziness pulling him back toward normalcy. I am like a prisoner who is enjoying his imaginary freedom while asleep. As he begins to suspect that he is asleep, he dreads being awoken up and goes along with the pleasant illusion as long as he can. He must remind himself not to slip back into accepting previous beliefs as one might be susceptible to doing. Descartes is worried about what he can be certain about. He's not certain that he's a physical thing. At this point in meditations, he's unsure if anything is actually physically there or if there is just some powerful demon deceiving him. Berkeley believes to have the answer to this question. He believes that there is no material world. Berkeley believed that there is no such thing as matter, there is only perception. Esse est percepe means to be is to be perceived. He thought there were no objects, rather just perceivers who, even then, do not really have a physical form, only disembodied perceiving things that aren't really there. He thinks that what we perceive are ideas, and ideas cannot live outside the mind. Based on this, you would think that when something is no longer in your sight, then it's no longer being perceived, so then it stops existing. However, Berkeley believed that God was the ultimate perceiver, and he could perceive at all times. Therefore, the thing in question would still exist because God will always perceive it even when humans cannot. Personally, I think Berkeley is unsuccessful because I'm not convinced that there's no physical world. I feel like his argument was really far-fetched, and I think a lot of philosophers would agree. And I feel like the argument just wasn't strong enough to make me give up on all possibilities of a physical world.